The next morning, excitement swept through the town following reports of strange lights flickering in the cemetery the previous night. It all began when the leader of the Venerable Tertiary Order spoke to a group of townsfolk, animatedly discussing the lights he had seen. He claimed there were over 20 candles, describing their shapes and sizes with zealous fervor. His words stirred a mixture of awe and fear among the listeners. "Imagine, brothers and sisters. It was a miraculous sight," he exclaimed, his hands gesturing dramatically. "We might be witnessing the glories of heaven itself." Nearby, Sister Sipa, who belonged to the Brotherhood of the Holy Rosary, felt compelled to join the conversation. She couldn't bear the thought that a rival might be gaining attention, so she claimed, "I too heard cries and moans coming from the cemetery, and surely I recognized some voices. They were those who harmed me in the past." Her tone mixed indignation with a false sense of virtue. "Oh, Sister Sipa, surely you jest," a man interjected, rolling his eyes. "What nonsense!" Not to be outdone, Sister Rufa joined in. "I had a vivid dream last night. Souls tormented in purgatory begged for my indulgences," she said, her eyes wide as she recalled the imagined scene. "They need help. We must act quickly to save them." In the midst of this commotion, a young herder who tended to his carabaos nearby tried to voice his view. "But I only saw one light and 2 men in hats. You all are making too much of this." Frustration marked his voice as he defended his honesty, but the villagers only laughed and jeered at him. "What do you know? You're just a heretic," they shouted. "Do you dare say such things against the sisters?" one elderly woman demanded, shaking her head in disbelief. Meanwhile, the curate, seeking to capitalize on the escalating panic, climbed into the pulpit for his Sunday sermon. He passionately preached about purgatory and the horrors that awaited sinners. His fervor was contagious, enticing the townspeople to freely part with their pesos, all in hopes of securing prayers for the souls believed to be suffering. But away from the chaos in the streets, let's turn to a conversation brewing between Don Filipo and the elderly Tasio inside Tasio's modest home. Tasio was known in the town for his wisdom, though some called him the sage or the lunatic due to his unconventional views. He lay sick in bed, his body frail, but his mind sharp. Don Filipo had come to visit, feeling the weight of current events. "I've heard the governor has accepted your resignation," said Tasio, his voice barely a whisper. "Should I congratulate you?" Filipo hesitated, looking troubled. "I'm not sure it's wise. The town faces turmoil, and now, during this war with the civil guard, my resignation is seen as cowardice." Tasio nodded slowly, his expression thoughtful. "When the governor ignores the people's voice, it is your duty to stay and lead. Everyone needs a guide." "But I felt powerless," Filipo admitted, frustration edging his tone. "The governor released the soldiers I had arrested. His actions put us all in jeopardy. Without support, I am like a ship lost at sea." A wry smile crossed Tasio's face. "Don't be short-sighted, my friend. You underestimate your influence. Alone, perhaps you cannot fight, but do not forget the spirit of the people. You missed a chance to inspire them." "But how could I go against a figure of authority?" Filipo protested. "Señor Ibarra is bending to the people's beliefs. How can I do the same?" "Señor Ibarra sows seeds for tomorrow's harvest," replied Tasio, sitting up a bit more. "Stay steadfast in your principles. The rights of the people trump the authority of one man. History is shifting, can't you feel that?" Filipo raised an eyebrow, intrigued yet still hesitant. "Do you really think so? But all I see is the same slow grind of oppression. I fear the change you speak of is merely a dream." Tasio laughed weakly but with conviction. "Ah, dreams are seeds too. You think the youth of today are lost in distractions. Look around. They are hungry for knowledge. They study modern ideas and sciences that the old regime once held in disdain. They are breaking free from the chains of past traditions." "You truly believe that they will rise?" Filipo asked, a mix of doubt and hope in his voice. "Yes, they question and explore. I watch as they learn the very subjects our generation was forbidden to pursue, Tasio exclaimed, his eyes aglow with excitement. Mathematics, literature, even the sciences, they are the harbingers of change. Don Filipo felt a swell of pride at Tasio's words. Perhaps the new generation holds more power than I give them credit for. Tasio continued. Indeed, they see the futility in the old ways. Even the clergy, trying to hold back the tide, are unwittingly advancing it. Patience, my friend. While rebellion stirs within, it will not be suppressed forever. But what if it is stifled? Filipo pressed. What if the weight of tradition crushes their thoughts? Who can truly stifle progress? Tasio countered. Only those who cannot endure the truth. History shows that oppression only fans the flames of change. The will of the people is a powerful force. With a glint of realization, Filipo nodded slowly. Perhaps you are right. The future remains unwritten. Exactly, Tasio affirmed. Now, consider this. Our country is on the brink of a struggle between the past and a brighter future. The feudal lords cling to their crumbling castles, but the dawn of change will rise. A sudden cough interrupted their discussion, and Filipo looked concerned. You should take care of yourself, Tasio. Maybe some medicine would help. The dying need no medicine. It is the living who require it to soldier on through hardship, he said, his tone turning somber. Tell Chrysostomo to see me tomorrow. I have much to share with him, important insights on what lies ahead. Filipo rose, feeling the weight of their conversation. As he exited, he felt the chill of uncertainty in the air. The Philippines is in darkness, Tasio murmured faintly as Filipo closed the door behind him. With Tasio's voice echoing in his mind, Filipo stepped out into the daylight, contemplating the struggles ahead. Would the youth heed the call to rise? Was the light of knowledge strong enough to pierce the veil of darkness? The answers remained unknown, but he did sense the winds of change beginning to stir, and for the first time in a long while, a sliver of hope ignited within him.